the time is almost here. We are almost done with The Woman in Cabin 10. So part 7 was a fairly short part. I think it was only like 2, maybe 3 chapters. So there's not super duper much that I need to go with. But we do open with Miss Lowe passively moaning that she's going to starve to death. So I was like, oh great, this is going to be a great part again. It's going to be more of her just sitting around doing nothing. Hoorah. And then we do get our fake Anne Bulmer come back. And we still don't get any more escape attempts from Lowe. And I'm so frustrated. It's like, I get that you kind of made an arrangement so you can get your pills and stuff. But at the same time, it's gone on long enough. You would think that she'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't handle this anymore. Let's try to get out of this mess because she's not helping me get out of it. And I mean, when Anne very first came back, I kind of got it because it did seem like Lo basically passed out because it'd been so long since her last meal and stuff. But when she's awake, and even as Anne is trying to leave, you could try to like sneak your way out with her or something. Make some sort of effort, Lo. Just make an effort. But she does not. So, I mean, after our fake Anne has left, she does decide that she's going to try to escape. So I was like, progress? Except for, you could have done it while she was there. And you didn't. But yeah, there you go. And I'm still confused by Lord Bulmer's part in this. We get kind of some explanation of what his plan was, how Anne was going to be there for just like one night and then just disappear. But not disappear because he's got our fake Anne who's going to pretend to be her, like she just decided to stay on the ship for a few days or whatever. And then she's going to disappear too, and then his wife will just be completely disappeared. And I'm like, especially a disappearance seems even less likely to be able to use your wife's money. And your wife was dying of cancer. I don't know why you didn't make use of that if you wanted her gone. Just say, oh, she passed away from the cancer, but you actually, aided it along. And there's probably ways to investigate that, but why would you investigate that if she had cancer? She was dying anyways. So I still don't get the motivations here. I'm very confused by it. I think it's a stupid plot, and it makes no sense. But I guess when you're a crazy person who wants to off your wife, you're maybe not thinking the most clearly anyways. Also, they talked about how with our fake Anne, he would go out around the town and stuff so that they could go to movies and things, and she would be dressed up as Anne, and so they would already kind of been doing it before this whole boat thing anyways. But Lord Bulmer's this big famous person. You would kind of expect paparazzi to talk about some of these things, be like, oh, we saw him going out to the movies with his wife. Even though she has cancer, they're still having fun. Kind of, you would think that reporters would maybe do something like that. And so I'm surprised that there weren't things like that going on that would have tipped the real Anne off to the fact that her husband's dallying around with this fake Anne. There's so many questions I have with how all of this is playing out. Yeah, I don't get it. If anything, I would think that if he's sick of that Anne and has fallen in love with this fake Anne, which is debatable, but if he wants to off the original Anne and he's got this girl who looks pretty much like Anne and can fake it, that you would think that the plan then, if he's going to do something like this, would be that he offs her on the boat. And then new Anne takes her place, and then he just has access to old Anne's money because she's gone and everyone else thinks this new Anne is her. Other than she can't ever, meet her family or whatever, because they do have different eye color, which was, the tip-off for Lo. But I'm just so confused. I don't understand why he chose this plan, or how this plan makes any sense for him to be able to actually make use of his wife's money. And if he just wanted her gone, again, she's dying of cancer. Just pull the plug on her treatment and be like, oops, she died. It was the cancer's fault. I don't get it. And I do think that moving on, trying to, anyways, past that I still think that Lo should have tried to make some sort of escape. She tried to convince our fake Anne that, let's get out of here. Bulmer's gonna try to kill you. He's gonna try to kill me. We shouldn't still be here. We should try to escape. And that completely fails. And when that failed, that should have been, at the very least, her escape attempt. Because she did say she was gonna try to escape. But instead she's like, well, I guess I'm not escaping with fake Anne. Because she doesn't want to do it. I'm like, no, this was your chance. This was your moment to try to escape. I will say that the ending of this section was pretty good. It was pretty effective to be worrying over Bulmer returning and that he's coming back early, so that's a concern too. What tipped him off that he needed to come back, kind of a thing. And then, we've got all that concern and that tension, and then we cut to this, newspaper bulletin for the thing that, bridges the parts. And it talks about a second body being found. And I was like, there we go, Ruth, where that's how you effectively bait me with a body to think that perhaps the body might actually be Lo. I'm pretty sure, based on how the story's been going and that Lo is the protagonist, that it'll actually be our fake Anne. But, I think that is an effective way to have introduced that. To be like, oh, we've got all this concern, Bulmer seems suspicious because he's coming back early, and then we get this report that there's a second body, and that is like, yep, that could potentially be Lo. I could buy now that might be Lo. So, she figured it out effectively somewhere, at least, I guess. Too bad she couldn't have done it with the other newspaper clippings to really add some tension to the story, especially with Lo sitting around being a passive little bum and not doing anything on the boat. Anyways, I'm interested to see how this plays out, especially since we've got that Bulmer involvement and we don't know what's going to happen there. But Lo had better actually make a physical attempt to escape before the end of the book, or I'm going to be so annoyed with her as a protagonist. I mean, I kind of already am, because she's spent almost 10 chapters now just sitting in a room wanting to escape and not really making any efforts to escape. But here we are. We're almost at the end. We finally got the story basically unraveled. We just need to resolve this thing with Bulmer, and then the story will be over. I have one part left, and I'm excited and full of trepidation that it's not going to be any good because Lo has been so passive throughout so much of this climactic stuff. But hopefully, since Bulmer's coming back, she'll have to actually interact with someone and make some sort of escape attempt, fight for her life, something. That's what I'm hoping for the end of this book. But yeah, that's my thoughts on part 7, and if you guys have been reading along, let me know what you think. Are you also sick of Lo being a passive protagonist who will decide she wants to escape but then make no attempts to escape? Let me know your thoughts. Yeah. And that's all I've got for now. This is Miller Harper, signing out.